All right.
BIM-based customer journey management platform. There you go.
Yeah, that's one of the versions we've been using. So I'm going to go with that today.
Very nice.
So this is going to be very informal. I'm not good at presenting like really like detailed presentation. I like to swing it. So I hope everybody bear with me. So let's see what we can do.
Well, the stage is yours. Here you go. Here you go. I will be back with you after the presentation.
All right. Do I have to talk 20 minutes? I might be a little bit less.
Whatever you like, whatever you like.
I'll let you know when I'm near end. You see my picture. Yeah. All right. So let's start. So first of all, I'm here from GBuilder. I'll fill in the details a little bit about my background of the company, but I think like Walter said, that's the key line. We start out with BIM-based customer journey management platform. So it's kind of a mouthful, but it actually means that we are providing a medium and large size enterprises within the residential construction, a platform where they can manage their end users, whatever that has been, like a home buyer, tenant, or investor, and any related process from starting from the sales and marketing through customer success team configuration, then the construction site, and any related process in a construction site, and then all the way through the warranty and beyond. And while we start out with the BIM word, I know it's been used a lot, but I think because we are the only one within the space that is compatible with the BIM and is using the BIM, so that's my favorite word. I've been living and breathing and eating BIM for, I gotta say, 8 years now. So that's why I want to start out with BIM. All right, so let's see how I can make. All right, so a little bit about me. I hope you don't see the menu because overlapping my screen a bit, but I'm guessing that you guys only see this. So my name is Harri Majala. I'm the CEO and founder of GBuilder. Wanted to bring a few of these pictures here with me, so just to show like how long I've been within industry. My dad always built something, all our houses and everything. So I'm thinking these pictures, I'm like 3 or 4 years old, and I'm just following around my dad at the construction site. And he founded our family construction company in 1989 over here in Finland. So I was basically 12 when I started working. Summers with my brothers at the construction site, and then I did escape tried to escape the family fate and moved to Helsinki, got a degree in economics and worked at the stock exchange and so on. But one thing led to another, and I moved back to my home city and ended up running the company more than 10 years. So I'm very comfortable saying that I'm a third generation entrepreneur, second generation builder, and now first generation of construction technology founder. So that said, it means that I founded GBuilder. It was 2013 to solve our everyday problems. I was just failing at my job, and I wanted to create something that would help not just to keep the promise to our customers, our own customers, the home buyers, but especially for the professionals at the construction site that have been working for my family for like more than 20 years already. So I felt very strongly to find a solution that would help me to do this. I scoured the internet and found only point solutions. So I could get one for visualization, one for configuration, communication, attachment sharing, snagging, you name it. And even the company that our size, which was not big, we built between 50 to 100 homes a year, we would have needed to get like 10 to 20 point solution to solve our problem. So that's when I decided like there's gotta be a better way, and I decided to set up a company that would come in with more holistic approach. This is actually the time when I was introduced to the BIM by one of our advisors in 2013, and I realized that is the future. And it took us almost 2 years to get the minimum viable product out. But now, today, I'm not here alone. We are about a team of 40 professionals, varying from software development, sales, BIM production, marketing, administration, and so on. A little bit about the company background, like traction-wise, we are trusted by more than 40 medium and large-size enterprises. We have actually more than 500 projects and about 40,000 homes on the platform. We operate in 10 to 11 countries, and as you can see, we are trusted by one of the most leading brands, especially here in Northern Europe. little bit, okay, there's 2 slides that actually repeat themselves, but just, recapping that, founded 2013, came out to the market 2015. Definitely a tech lead and a market most widely used solution within our space in Europe, and only one that has capabilities of using BIM and creating BIM models, either existing BIM models or converting them from DVG file into a BIM model. A little bit on the traction side, so it's not just all talk. We estimate that more than 50% of all build-to-sell apartments in Finland and Estonia are coming to our platform next year. We're very close to that figure as we speak. So why I'm over here? Okay, let me take back. I was thinking, like, what should I start talking about? And I'm always most comfortable talking about my own experience and how I see in the construction industry digitalization transformation going forward. And I keep repeating to my team that we have an advantage over here in North, Scandinavia, because we have kind of like a time machine, because we see that each market across Europe and across the world globe are moving on the same path. Some of them are moving faster, some of them are moving slower, but everybody seems to be going into the same direction. So when we started out, it was very much the beginning of digitalization here in Scandinavia also. So I've already gone through this with GBuilder and the team, that how the construction digitalization transformation, that's a mouthful, how that evolves over time. And I've been working on this theory for years now, that I divided into 3 phases. I call them day 1, 2, and 3. And I know the headline probably said that I'm going to focus on day 2 because that's kind of like the most commonplace at the moment, but I decided I'll run you through so you have the whole day 3, 1, 2, and 3 experience, so you understand what I'm talking about. And if you guys feel that I'm getting this wrong, I'm more than happy to discuss this either in the questions after this, or some other channel. Sorry, I still have the flu, so I might be doing a lot of sneezing and coughing, but bear with me. So day 1. So this is what was happening when I started out. It's like, and we see this in so many markets still, that everybody is being reactive. You have these silos. Everybody knows we have silos in construction, and each and every silo has their own needs, and they're like, okay, we need to digitalize. So they would, like, sales team, like, we need visualizations, and work sites say, like, we need some snacking tool, quality assurance tool, so we can monitor and report and have this process under control. And then the customer success, we need something to manage these customer requests, and so on and so on. So it's been very reactive. All these silos turn into the group level or the digitalization responsible person, not usually even those in place in this day 1, but someone who's making these decisions, and they want to have a solution to help their own problems. And this is when the companies are buying each silo at a time. I even, like, recently experienced, like, we now want to buy a solution that solves the communication or configuration only. And that's when you end up looking into these point solutions, and your mindset is in a place that I need an easy, solution. And I'm always, a lot of people are afraid of the resistance within the corporation, or the lack of resources for implement more solutions, and they don't want to push the solution in. So they're reacting more happily to the demands that come within the organization. So, reactive demand for the solution leads to point solutions, because there's only one symptoms that you're solving, solving the entire problem. And basically there's no clear strategy. It's like, I think it's like whoever yells the most gets the solution, or who has the sexiest user interface gets the deal. And whereas there's no long-term desire, it's more like 1 or 2 year strategy, if that. And then also you only get to digitalize your silo. So you're basically putting a lipstick on a pig. So you're trying to solve something of a problem, but you're not actually solving the problem, which is the entire construction process, and these silos that are detached from each other, and the lack of data, lack of communication, manual work, and so on. So you end up buying these multiple. We had one customer, can't say the name, big one. They had 119 point solutions at the end of day 1. So that's the scope of where this can lead you as a company. And these solutions Okay, so we're going to the day 2 now. So what I like to call a hangover day. So you bought too much of point solutions. So now you have one solution for that, and most of them even didn't have any API. And the ones that had API, they were not, open API, or they were not capable of multiple integrations. And if you were able to integrate some solutions after a lot of money and time, you realize that the data was in different formats. So one product could have those data points and the other one had those. And when you try to combine them, like in a whatever format, it was really not the data that you were looking for. So this is the time when the companies, the builders, medium, large companies usually start thinking about like, okay, we need to get this under control. We're losing money. We're still making mistakes. We thought we were solving these problems, but we're just actually, putting those problems in a cloud, and we're not, doing the things that we were supposed to do, and we're not solving the actual problem. We're trying to treat the symptoms, and it's only making it worse. So, so they start to realize how complex the setup is, and this is the time where they realize that we need outside expertise. We need someone from experience from digitalization in other industry or within the construction, or we need to find a consultant who looks into our IT set and starts to make sense of it. And then we have to define the MVP, like what is the level of digitalization we need, which silos would be the first ones to digitalize, how do we make sure that the information flows between these silos, how we make sure that the data is standardized, that we can pull it into our BI solutions and start making some sense of it, start to create that big data. So hangover days, basically what we have, I would have to say markets like Benelux markets is one of those. Also UK, we see this as one of the markets, and where the companies are now looking into their IT architecture and realizing that this is not working. We're paying way too much. We have no visibility, and we have no data, and that forces. So this is more like, it's still reactive, but there's a proactive angle to it, where the company realizes that we really need to do something, and they start pushing their own strategy, their own targets, and building that team. We see, like, when we started out, there were no BIM managers, there were no digital manager or customer experience managers, or even CIOs were not everywhere to found. So we've now in day 2, we see that the construction companies are realizing that they need to bring in the professionals that can manage that. And those people are finally then trying to make sense of the IT structure, but also start to form that strategy that is based for the day 3. Let's see how day 3. So when you go into the day 3, you have to you have to make hard decisions. There's a lot of resistance in construction, especially that when you try to implement some digital solutions. I know that from my personal experience, even with my own company, it took me 2 years to get everybody to use the solution, because no one wanted to change the way they were doing things. So when you jump from day 1, day 2 transformation is easy, because you just find a point solution that brings added value to that silo, and they will adapt to it, and they learn to love that point solution. But then when you move from day 2 to day 3, you actually have to break down those already new ways, not the oldest way, but the new way of doing things. And then another person comes in like, okay, you did that transformation, you did that leap of faith, and now you have to do it again. And now we have to maybe get rid of that solution that you've been using for years. And I know it solves your problem in this silo, but we all have to look from the higher perspective and see what's good for all the silos, everybody within the company. Because if you only serve that one silo, that's going to hurt the other silo. So it's really important to get everybody around the same table and start thinking like, okay, your silo is using that solution, your silo is doing that. We have these solutions that are not being used at all, and we have this solution over there being used that could actually help you over here. And that's really a tough one. We've seen like multiple, I think I've seen like 20, 30 different architectural maps. And sometimes, how would I say, like, I feel like if there would be a forum where all these people would meet and they would talk about these things, I think the transformation would happen faster. There's still a lot of philosophies and ways of doing that more holistic digital strategy. And I'm not convinced that all the strategies are correct. I see some of them are better, but I am not expert on that one that much, on that level, so I'm not judging anyone. But the main thing I do see is that everybody recognizes the need of API. When you have the API, you're able to connect these silos. I'm not using the break down the silos anymore because it's a negative term. We're not breaking them down. We are connecting them with each other. We're making everybody work as a team. So when you have the API, you're able to either have some solution run through most of the silos or some of the silos, or have each silo to remain with that point solution they've been using. But that data has to start flowing via different channels. There's different ways how to push that data forward. But also the big thing is that there's one saying that we always say, the PDF is not data. So you need to create some standardization for your data. For us, it's always been the BIM. So we use the building information model, the IFC file, as the underlying technology, and use that to create the common language where we are able to tag the data from all these silos that you have. I can open that later on, but I only had 20 minutes today. And the other one, they realized there has to be a more holistic approach. So whatever data you create, whenever you insert only data once, that wasn't right. You only want to insert data once, and that information, that data needs to start flowing through, and it's being enriched as you go forward. So whereas nowadays, in day 2, they realized that, okay, we're inserting this user data in sales phase, then on the, like the customer configuration phase, and then we're going to do it 3rd time at the, the construction phase, and the 4th time when the customers are moving in. So that just doesn't make any sense, and there's so much data flowing through. Someone told that the construction project is one, if not the most complex process in the world, and that means that the amount of data just on a normal 50-unit apartment building, there's millions and millions of data points, and if everything's been inserted manually over and over again, we all know there's going to be a lot of mistakes. So they realized you have the API, you need to standardize data, you need holistic approach. BIM is definitely the emerging technology, and everyone we talk to across the globe either recognize we're there now, we're gonna get there now, we're not there now, but within 5 years, we're gonna be there. So that's why I put it out there like the number 4 for the key points for day 3 digitalization. So this all, of course, leads to a reduction of the point solutions or solutions that you have in use. I don't know what's the ideal number is, because that depends on, of course, on your strategy, but also how your business processes and units are set up. My understanding is that if you have 119, that's way too much. I'm still thinking that no medium or large size enterprise can manage with less than 20. So there's always room for multiple solutions, and no one can do everything. That's a given. So you have to be able to, see that and pick out the best solutions for each of the processes. And this all leads to the clear digitalization strategy. And when you have that strategy, you start implementing it, and you start talking to, providers, you start figuring out. And what I love about day 3 is that it's no longer about how sexy your user interface is. It is about how much value you can bring into each silo. How much return, what's your return of investments? What's the quality of the data you can provide? What's the sustainability angle you can bring in? Like, what's the brand enhancing effect with this? What is the, how can we create more leads and sales, and how can we make more profit? So it's no longer, it's more moving towards added value rather than simple feature level approvals or valuation. And when you have all these in mindset and you start putting them together, your digitalization will eventually be achieved. I can't remember. I think digitalization achieved is the word over there. It's partly covered with my my screen at the moment, but I don't think we've seen any companies that are there yet. This is one, if not the best time to be within the construction as a contact founder, because this is the time, especially due to Corona and now inflation, war, interest rates, and so on, the digitalization is the place where construction companies have to turn to make, to look for more profits, more efficiencies, more data, so they're making better decisions and so on. So just to recap, from day one, point solutions, reactive. Day two, the hangover day, where you realize you just bought too many solutions, and you start to form your digitalization strategy and start to form your team around it. And then day three, where you identify these key points that you need to take under consideration in order to push forward to that digitalization that actually has benefits for the entire company. I have no idea how long I talk, but I think, Walter, this is my last slide because it has my name on it. Thank you.
So where do you see this being implemented right now the most?
Scandinavia is definitely the leading in this. Like I remember first time I started going around the Scandinavia, there were still companies saying that I don't believe in BIM. I used to reply that it's not a matter of faith. It's it's coming, because from drawing to DVG to IFC. So that's definitely the path. We do see that some of the countries for like Eastern Europe, or let's say Brazil, they have different ways of doing. They don't build as a turnkey solution of these apartments. So another thing that I feel like those might be a little bit behind on the digitalization, but Europe definitely, and I feel like maybe US is 2-3 years behind us. That's my rough estimate.
Okay, yeah. And do you really need to have like these BIM models to implement GBuilder?
No. For us, it's of course our secret sauce is that we have our own integrated CAD solution as the base, not a plugin, but a real CAD solution that enables us to either transform those 2D DVG files into BIM model that we do like with machine learning and so on. But we also have a possibility to import your existing IFC models, even though if they're incomplete, we can enrich them and join, combine like IFC models like kitchen drawings and so on. And actually has a lot of cool features that we have been able to use machine learning to automate this BIM creation and enrichment. So it's basically built into the service.
So what is 2023 going to bring you?
I hope peace. But
that's a good
I think all agree that everybody's just waiting. I'm a little bit older than your traditional founders. I'm 45, so I've lived through my family the 91, 92 depression in Finland. I've lived through the IT bubble, the Lehman Brothers, the Corona, everybody. And usually the crises come harder than you expected, and then when they start to ease off, the pickup is faster than you expect. I have to admit, I thought that before Christmas we would be back to more or less normal, but my mother guess is now that March is the earliest when we get back on the normal track. But what we see now, for like as a GBuilder team, we see that we never been receiving more requests for proposal or inbound contacts, because there's 3 points that the builders are not struggling. Of course, one, you need to have more leads and the leads to create more sales. Yes. And you need more sales to get the projects going. But for most, because you can't raise your prices because the interest rates are getting higher and your profits are being destroyed by the inflation. So you need to make extra sales, and that's of course where we can bring it with very controlled way. You can easily go beyond 10,000 euros additional revenue, even 20,000 average for apartment.
Yeah, because you know what people really want.
Yeah, you know what they want, and because there's no manual, everything's based on the BIM. So you say that I want $20 more for this floor compared to the standard one, is the system will calculate everything, and you'll be able to manage that in an automated way without any manual inputs and mistakes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So hopefully that will keep up the work for you guys.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Well, thank you very much, Harri. Hope to speak to you soon, and get well.